Hello and welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd and you were watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I've got some information coming out here, some really terrible news. It looks like just in the last 24 hours, we had a massacre inside of Gaza. Okay, so this picture is not from the actual event, it's just for reference. But apparently, what we had happen here was there was some aid trucks entering into Gaza, and the Israelis were, the IDF was there guarding the trucks and making sure that the transfer was going through, safely. And apparently, hundreds of Gaza civilians or Palestinians were approaching the truck in what the IDF were considering a threatening way, a threatening manner. Okay, so obviously they're hungry, right? They're hungry. They need supplies. They're thirsty. There's no water. There's no food. There's no fuel. There's barely anything in Gaza. These people are starving, and apparently they were trampling over each other to try to get on these trucks and take the aid. Okay, now I've seen so many videos online. I won't show them here just because they're pretty graphic, but there's lots of videos you can find online of these trucks consistently being bombarded with hundreds of people, and everybody is just fighting for resources over there, and I totally understand what's going on. But I guess what happened here was that the IDF felt threatened. Um, I guess when they were guarding these trucks, so they opened fire to prevent these people from approaching the vehicle in the manner that they did. And it looks like we had hundreds of people that were shot. Okay, there's numbers here. It's looking as high as 760 people that were wounded, and more than 100 people were actually killed. Okay, and I guess after this happened, a bunch of people started fleeing. It looks like there's reports of people that got run over by the trucks when the trucks were trying to escape. So this was just a madhouse of what happened here. We had reports that the IDF fired a tank shell as well. So yes, lots of people were injured here and killed, and it's very terrible what happened. So this was apparently in Rafah, actually, when this aid was trying to come into Rafah. So it does look like aid is trying to come in over there, but this exchange here just didn't go very smoothly, apparently. So I've got some information here that's coming out. Let's go ahead and get into this here so we can figure out what happened. So Palestinian deaths in Gaza passed 30,000 as witnesses say Israeli forces fire on crowd waiting for aid. So this is in Rafah, okay, the southernmost city that the IDF is about to invade here pretty soon. Israeli troops fired on a large crowd of Palestinians racing to pull food off of an aid convoy in Gaza City on Thursday. Witnesses said more than 100 people were killed, bringing the death toll since the start of the Israel-Hamas war to more than 30,000. See, we're already over 30,000. Whenever Israel pushes into Rafah, this number is going to go up much higher. According to health officials, Israel officials acknowledged the troops opened fire, saying they did so after the crowd approached in a threatening way. The officials insisted on anonymity to give details about what happened after the military said in a statement that dozens were killed and injured from pushing, trampling, and being run over by the trucks. So it looks like a lot of people got run over too. U.S. President Joe Biden said the United States was still trying to determine what happened in Gaza City. When asked if the loss of life would complicate efforts broker a ceasefire, he said, "I know it will." Gaza City and the surrounding areas in the enclave's north were the first targets of Israeli air, sea, and ground offensive launched in response to Hamas's October 7th attack. So this part where it says Joe Biden was saying that a ceasefire deal could have more difficulties now that this happened. Yes, they have been trying to broker a ceasefire deal here for quite some time now, and Hamas is rejecting a lot of these offers. Israel ends up rejecting offers, so they haven't been able to come to an agreement. But supposedly Joe Biden is, he's optimistic that by the end of the weekend they should have a ceasefire deal. But I don't know. At this point, it's not looking likely. While many Palestinians fled the Israeli invasion in the north, a few 100,000 are believed to remain in the area, which has suffered widespread devastation and has been largely isolated during the conflict. Trucks carrying food reached northern Gaza this week, the first major aid delivery to the area in a month. So, according to this, maybe this is some information now that I could share with you guys. It looks like many of them are starting to get out of Rafah already. So the evacuations have already begun, and it looks like they're heading to the north. And it says only a few 100,000 remain, or believed to be. It could be a lot higher than that. It could be 500,000 or more. But there was well over 1 million just a couple weeks ago. Aid groups say it has become nearly impossible to deliver humanitarian assistance in most of Gaza because of the difficulty of coordinating with the Israeli military, ongoing hostilities, and the breakdown of public order, with crowds of desperate people overwhelming aid convoys. The UN says a quarter of Gaza's 2.3 million Palestinians face starvation. Around 80% fled their homes. Kamel Abu Nahel, who has been who's being treated for a gunshot wound at Shifa Hospital, said he and others went to the distribution point in the middle of the night because they heard there would be a delivery of food. We've been eating animal feed for 2 months, he said. He said Israeli troops opened fire on the crowd as people pulled boxes of flour and canned goods off the trucks, causing them to scatter, with some hiding under cars. After the shooting stopped, people went back to the trucks and the soldiers opened fire again. He was shot in the leg and fell over, and then a truck ran over his leg as it sped off. Oh, that's horrible. Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and Jordan accused Israel of targeting civilians in the incident. In separate statements, they called for increased safe passages for humanitarian aid and for the international community to take decisive action and pressure Israel to abide by international law and to reach an agreement for an immediate ceasefire. I'm really surprised there hasn't been an immediate ceasefire call right now. I'm really surprised because there's just been so many people that have been killed here, innocent people that are being killed and shot, and especially after something like this, this has to be a big deal, and I'm sure we're going to be hearing more news on this coming up very soon. So Allah Abu Daya, a witness to the violence, said Israeli troops opened fire and also that a tank fired a shell. So a tank fired as well. Medics arriving at the scene on Thursday found dozens or hundreds lying on the ground, according to Fares Afana, the head of the ambulance service at Kamal Adwan Hospital. He said that there were not enough ambulances to collect all the dead and wounded, and that some were being brought to hospitals on donkey carts. So they didn't even have enough ambulances to get everybody. So people were out laying on the ground, perished already, and they had to use donkey carts to get them to the hospitals. Another man in the crowd, who gave only his first name, Ahmad, as he was being treated at the hospital for gunshot wounds to the arm and leg, said he waited for 2 hours before someone with a horse-pulled cart, had room to take him to Shifa. Dr. Mohammed Salah, the acting director of the Al-Alda Hospital, said the facility received 161 wounded patients, most of whom appeared to have been shot. He said the hospital can perform only the most essential surgeries because it is running out of fuel to power emergency generators. So that's another big issue too. They don't have any fuel, and they have no power because all the power has been taken out from all the bombing. So the only thing they have is fuel to power generators, and they barely even have fuel coming into the country because a lot of it's either blockaded or it's not coming in. In addition to at least 112 people killed, around 760 were wounded. Health Ministry spokesman Ashraf Al-Qidra said the health ministry described it as a massacre. So they're calling it a massacre. 112 people were killed, 760 were wounded. I'm sure that number is projected to go up much higher. But again, this is horrible what's going on over here. I've covered this several times. The tragedies and the horrors of these people, what they're going through. And, I hope this war ends sooner than later. It looks like it's getting close to ending very soon. And I hope we don't have a lot more casualties. I hope these people are able to safely get out of Rafah before the IDF moves in, because I'm pretty certain they're going to go in there and they're going to go after Hamas. And don't be surprised if soon after that they start going after Hezbollah next. So that's going to be it for this video. I hope you got something out of this. I know it's some terrible news, not a great way to end your day or start your day wherever you might be. But I appreciate you hanging out with us and checking out this video. If you enjoyed this video, please smash the like button. And also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing to the channel. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. And with that, I hope you all have a great day. Thanks again so much for tuning in. Take care and God bless everybody. We'll see you later.